Humans of the cardboard, it is absolutely time. We have final reveals for Duelist Nexus. This is absolute final reveals for the TCG version of the set. We had the main 80 cards, but now we have the first wave of the new TCG exclusive archetype Tristina, I believe is the name, or TISTINA archetype revealed. We'll get to that in a little bit. We also have a handful of brand new TCG exclusive cards, as well as some OCG imports that are now confirmed for Duelist Nexus in a couple weeks when this new set drops. So let's get into it. We've got 20 cards to roll through. Starting off here with some of the random TCG exclusives, we have Zootomasaurus Missouri. This is a Earth level 2 dino, 500, 400 for the stats. While you control another dinosaur monster, your opponent's monsters cannot target this card for attacks. You can target one other card you control, destroy it. So it just gives you a way to pop your own stuff. That's, you could pop a baby. It's also a level 2 Earth dino, so weird the stats line up like that, but it doesn't seem like a good card overall, for real. Next up here we have Finis Taray, Tower of the Necro World. This is a water zombie level 10. 1,000 attack, 2,800 defense, the opposite of a big monarch stats. If you control a level 10 monster, you can special summon this card from the hand. You can only special summon it once per turn this way. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target a face-up card on the field. That card cannot be destroyed by card effects this turn. Okay, so basically just a level 10 extender. If you have a level 10 on field, jumps on the field. Nothing too crazy here. It could come up though down the line. I mean, think about stuff like Ashtartu that we've seen over the years, right? If we just get a level 10 version of Ashtartu, right? Ashtartu was just like a level 7 turbo deck. This could be the kind of thing that comes up in a weird deck like that. I don't know. It could, but it's something to keep an eye on for sure. Moving on, we have a brand new generic synchro. This is Quibelt, the Blade Dragon. He looks really cool. Level 7 Dragon Synchro. It's dark. He is completely generic. Any tuner and any one or more non-tuners. If this card is synchro summoned, you can target one card on the field, destroy it. If this card on the field is destroyed, you can target a face-up monster on the field. That monster cannot attack until the end of your opponent's turn. You can only use each effect once per turn. Not too shabby. I mean, I think this is just another tool where, if you can quick synchro this on the opponent's turn, this will just pop something on their turn. But also there are cards like Revolution Synchron coming out in this deck, in this set, where it allows you to make a quick 7 really easily, and then he reborns himself as a level 1 tuner, so you can then climb into an 8. So you could make this going second to bait an interruption, or maybe just straight up start breaking a board by popping something, then it reborns and you make Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Or another level 8. It could be Scarlight, and then Scarlight's wiping a board as well, right? If your opponent impermed something like this. That's how you could keep playing, keep barreling through, and keep applying pressure offensively to your opponent. Very cool. It's just a nice generic card. I don't think it's too broken, but it's just nice and nifty. Last set we got a good generic 6 as well, so hopefully they keep that going. I like just getting not broken, but just solid, generic synchros. All right, moving on, we have a new fusion monster. This is Storage Pod. This is a Dark Machine Fusion, level 6, 25-25 for the stats, pretty beefy. This card requires Trifortressops or Stegocyber plus a machine or dinosaur monster. So this does, I guess, make for a new target for fusion deployment, which is funny, but not sure how much that'll come up, but it's interesting. Cannot be destroyed by battle while a monster special summoned from the graveyard is on the field. If a monster or monsters is special summoned from the hand while this monster is on the field, you can target one card you control and one card your opponent controls, destroy them. That's actually not terrible, the fact that if you just have any way to have a quick effect extender from the hand while he's on the field, you do just get a Dryden effect. You do have to pop one of your own cards, but this card can't be destroyed by card effects as long as you control something from the graveyard. So then this card is kind of protecting itself. So I don't know. It's cool. Not bad. Just a nice little generic card. And now we get into oh boy. Okay, so we have a new generic trap card. No artwork here. Apologies on that. Yugipedia is still trying to catch up. Target monsters on the field up to the number of synchro monsters with different names you control. Return them to the hand. You can only activate one synchro force back per turn. I don't love that this requires you to get into the extra deck already just to be live, but I think there is a card or cards that search any card with synchro in the name. So I think this could be a searchable target there. If it is, then maybe we're talking about something, because then it's Synchro decks tend to be decks that can like really fall short to stuff like Dark Ruler no more. And so you could get Dark Ruler and still have a really strong interruption with a card like this. Just depends if it's searchable or not. I think it is, but don't quote me on that. All right, now we get into the Tristina stuff. Again, apologies that some of the artwork is not here. It's kind of a bummer, but yeah, check those out on your own. They actually look pretty cool. Okay, the first card here is Sentinel of the Testina. This is a Wind Aqua level 3, 12/14 for the stats. If this card is in your hand or graveyard and you control a LightTristina monster, special summon this card. You can target a Tristina monster or one face down card you control, destroy it, then add a Tristina card from your deck to your hand. Very interesting. Okay, so it's technically a searcher by destroying a Tristina or any set card you control, which is cool. You could set any spell or trap and pop it, so that's cool. There could definitely be some cool generic applications for just spells and traps that are good in Grave anyway. And it's an extender. Not bad. That's a good first card for sure. Next up, we have Hound of the Testina. This is a Earth Aqua level 4, 18/7 for the stats. If this card is in hand or grave and you control a LightTristina, you can special summon this card. You can only use this effect once per turn. Testina monsters you control can attack directly while your opponent controls a face-down defense position monster. That's not that good. I mean, yes, I guess being able to set something. The deck, I think, has a way to set your opponent's stuff, so that's pretty decent, but not too crazy. Mainly just an extender there. The other one was better, for sure. Next up here, we have our first LightTristina monster. It's Aqua level 10, 2,000 attack, 0 defense. Actually pretty small for a level 10. If you control a Testina card, you can special summon this card from the hand. Then you can add a Testina spell or trap from your deck to your hand. That's pretty good. That's an extender that searches, all in one effect. Okay, so ashing this activated effect is pretty rough, but still, that's a pretty good payoff for this card. All right, during your opponent's turn, if you control Crystal God Testina, okay, quick effect, you can change as many monsters your opponent controls as possible to face down defense position. Then you can send all face-up cards your opponent controls to the graveyard. Wow. Okay, so the new question becomes, how easy is it to put Crystal God on the field alongside Demigod? But Demigod's a pretty good extender, so it seems like as long as we can just get Crystal God out, then this card jumps right next to it. That seems pretty cool. Okay, that's definitely the best card you've seen so far. That is a pretty powerful card. All right, Crystal God Testina. Here we go. Level 10, Light Aqua, 2,000, 3,000 for the stats. During your main phase, you can change as many monsters your opponent controls as possible face down. Then you can send all face-up cards your opponent controls to the graveyard. Okay, interesting. So that means like links. Links wouldn't... Wait, does this say... Did this last one say face-up specifically? Oh, okay. It was the same thing. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought this meant like flip everything down, then send it all anyway. But this is flip everything face down and everything else that it didn't get flipped is going to grave. So it's stuff like links or unaffected stuff or spells and traps as well. Face up. So not bad. Okay, still good though. Still good. If this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can change as many monsters your opponent controls face down. Then you can send all face-up cards your opponent controls to the graveyard. Okay, this card's not nearly as good as the other one, but it does seem like it wants to be more of a going second deck anyway. But it's interesting. I think this is actually interesting. For a level 10, I'm hoping we have a somewhat easy way to get this guy out because he has no way to get himself on board. So hopefully that's something we can do here. All right, next up here we have Divine Domain by Testina. This is a normal spell? Field spell. During your main phase, you can send a Testina monster from your deck to the graveyard. Then, if your opponent controls 3 or more face-up cards, you can special summon a Crystal God from your hand or deck. That is powerful. Wow. Okay, so this now we're talking going second strategy here. This is a pretty powerful card because it's getting you an extender in one of the small guys that want to summon themselves back from grave, as well as your Crystal God, which is just once during main phase, book the whole board and send everything else. That's pretty good. Okay. You can only use this effect once per turn. If this card in the field zone is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, special summon a Testina from your deck or grave. I like that as well. It makes for limited ways to deal with this card. Even if they want to negate, and it's a negate and destroy effect on this, this card would, I believe... Oh, no, I guess maybe not on activation because you may not actually make it to the field zone. But it is a card that your opponent... This is just during the main phase. This is just every turn. So your opponent probably wants to deal with this, but it does take away the option of destruction in most cases. So not bad. Cool. It's a good card. All right, Breath of the Testina. During your main phase, you can normal. This is continuous. You can normal summon one Testina monster in addition to normal summoner set. Okay. You can target one face-up monster you control, or if you control a LightTristina, you can target a face-up monster on the field, change that monster face down, then add a Testina card from deck to hand. That's not bad. So if you have one of the big ones out already, which this card has Testina in the name, so you go activate this, summon the big one. Then you could use this to flip an opponent's monster face down, and then you get to add another Testina card from deck to hand. Not a bad search card. I mean, I like that these are main phase, so turn after turn, you get to just keep rolling with these. That's cool. I don't know how good the extra normal summon is, because both the big ones are freaking huge. So I don't want to tribute 2 monsters for those. And the little ones are extenders from hand anyway. So maybe that's an effect that'll come up down the line. Maybe we'll get a normal summon. There's no good normal summon here so far. But that's definitely interesting. Okay, final card here for Testina is the trap. It's a continuous trap. Activate this card by targeting a face-up monster on the field. Special summon this card as an effect monster, Aqua Light, level 10, 0/0 for the stats with the following effect. It still counts as a trap, by the way. During your opponent's turn, when that target leaves the field, destroy this card. During your opponent's turn, when this card leaves the field, destroy that target. So I guess if on the opponent's turn you can remove this card as a trap monster from the field, it will destroy the monster initially targeted. Okay. This card seems so weird. I'm not even sure I fully understand how this even works into the actual archetype, because it has to do everything on the opponent's turn. Seems pretty poop to me, to be honest. I don't think this card's very good. But a couple of really interesting cards here. It seems like an interesting start to a going second strategy. They're definitely going to need a follow-up wave of support in the next set, which they will get. Another 7 cards, most likely. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I don't think they're going to do too much out the gate, but I do think they do have some effects that are definitely have me raising an eyebrow so far. All right, let's finish up with some of the OCG imports. Dadara Bochi, this is a big zombie guy. I don't think he's that good for actual zombies, but he's cool looking. Stardust Worm, wait, isn't this card actually kind of good? This card is in your hand or grave, and you control a level 8 or higher Dragon Synchro. Special summon this card, but banish it if it leaves the field. Tribute this card, special summon up to 2 level 1 light dragons from hand and or grave, but their effects cannot be activated. This is just a pretty good generic dragon monster. Okay, cool. I'm with it. That's actually not a bad card at all. Cool. Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon. You can send a level 5 or higher normal monster from hand or deck to grave to special summon this card from hand, then increase its level by 1. That's cool that you get to just foolish a vanilla. So just foolish Red Eyes. Maybe get it in rotation for like future Red Eye support. Just having one in grave is really good. During your main phase, accept the card. The turn this card was sent there, you can banish this card from your grave to add a Red Eyes Fusion from deck or graveyard to hand, specifically Fusion. That's pretty powerful. Wow, okay, cool. I could actually see this card being a relevant card if Red Eyes gets like an actual wave to push them to like do something consistently. This could be nice. It's an extender that on a later turn gets you a really strong follow-up in the form of Red Eyes Fusion. It's pretty cool. All right, Diabolica. This is like a level 8 Fiend extender. Nothing too crazy. Super Heavy Samurai Security. I remember this being a pretty bad Super Heavy Samurai support card overall. Yeah, it like tributes itself to summon an Earth Machine with 1500 or less attack from hand or grave, not deck. So it's not even like a lone Fire Blossom. Whatever. And then we have the Magician of Faith Retrain. We went over that a couple months ago. It's level 5, so it's pretty rough. And this card's actually pretty interesting. Magic-y Deity Ashtartu. It's a generic level 8 Exceed with 3000 attack, 3000 defense. Once per turn, when your normal or Magic-y monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, detach a material to inflict damage to your opponent equal to the destroyed monster's attack. Fine. Once per turn during your opponent's main phase, quick effect. Target a monster your opponent controls with the same attribute as a normal or magic key you control or in your grave. Detach a material from this card, and if you do, banish that monster. Now that is pretty decent. That is a... now it does take Now, even though it is generic, this interruption effect is type or is attribute based. So he is a Magic Key monster, which means he can just quick effect banish any light your opponent controls, but that is the only attribute unless you're playing him in actual Magic Key. So I'm curious if Magic Key would actually want to play this, or maybe a deck that could put a different attribute vanilla engrave pretty easily. I don't know. Interesting card for sure. Not bad. All right, so all in all, there's your finalizations for the set. Nothing too crazy. Nothing. I think like this card is cool. This new Synchro guy was cool, and I think Testina is exciting. But again, it's not going to do too much out the gate, and nothing too effective here on the back end either with the imports as far as meta relevant stuff. So mostly the Testina stuff was the stuff to look forward to here. Good start. We'll see. But let me know your thoughts down below. Is there anything I missed here from these cards that maybe makes them a little better than I'm giving them credit for? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below on this. We still have like the final 20 cards coming from, or I think it's like 16 cards coming from Age of Overlord in the next couple days. I'm so excited for that. I will bring you guys that as it drops, but stay subscribed or get subscribed if you're not yet for more news from your boy, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.